This channel is the how-tos of NIH grant writing. It's, all of the different pieces of a high quality, high impact NIH grant, or I'm talking about how to successfully transition from a career development award to an R01. And that is what you can expect more of in 2023. But as we wrap up 2022, I did want to bring you behind the scenes of our company and give you an idea of how we actually help people get success at NIH and what we've actually done this year. So that is what we are talking about today. It's really kind of a behind the scenes and a by the numbers for 2022, and then what you can expect from us in 2023. So I wanted to first give you an idea of the scope of what we do. So this year in 2022, we have served almost 80 clients inside our paid programs and services. And I'll tell you more about what those are specifically a little later on. We've also served more than 1,500 students inside our free workshops. And we've had more than 500 researchers sign up for our free resource library, which you can do in the video description underneath this video. But that's sort of the scope of what we do at this point. And of course, we want to continue growing that in the years to come. But I'm really proud of the number of researchers we've been able to serve across all of the ways that we serve them. And particularly for the clients who work with us most closely in our strategic reviews, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what we've been able to accomplish with them this year. So when it comes to working with us one-on-one in what we call a strategic review process, we have worked with researchers who are total newbies when it comes to writing R01 grants. And we've also worked with more seasoned applicants who are, resubmitting applications. And so the success rates, of course, are going to differ across, your level of experience. But I did want to mention that among the first-time ESI clients that we worked with, so these are people who are writing R01 grants for the very first time, 22% of those were funded on their first shot. And 56% of those first-timers that we worked with just this year were discussed. And I should be careful here because we're actually looking at results that we got this year, because of course there's a lag between when folks submit grants and when we actually hear back. So these are based on the results from clients that we received in 2022. And so some of those we may have worked with in 2021, just with that lag time. When it comes to funding amounts for that same period, again, these are the results that we heard from in 2022. We helped researchers bring in about $16.5 million in grant funding. $10.5 million of that went to women PIs, and $8.5 million of that went to researchers who self-identify as underrepresented according to the NIH definition of underrepresented. And we are especially proud of that, to be able to narrow that funding gap among underrepresented researchers. So to give you an even better idea of how we work with PIs inside our strategic reviews and the kind of results that we've been able to get, and actually where we've begun to move our strategic review service, I want to tell you about what happens when we work with PIs who are resubmitting an R01. So on average, their scores, their overall impact score when they come to us is in the mid-40s. And after they work with us, their overall impact score is 27.5. And so we are able to improve that overall impact score pretty dramatically for them. And when we're talking about percentile, on average, they're at kind of the 35th percentile. And on average, when they work with us, they are under the 10th percentile, so ninth percentile. And then again, when we look at the individual criterion scores, for significance, on average, people are coming in around 3.5, and we're able to get them down to 2.5. On average, when it comes to innovation, folks are at 1.8, and we're able to bring that down on average to 1.4. When it comes to, that's the investigator score. And then for innovation, our PIs are coming in around 2.8, and after working with us, that improves to 2.3. For the approach, even though, and this one's really interesting because we are not subject matter experts, so we are not commenting on the scientific merit. We are helping clarify how the approach is presented. And so on average, they're coming in with approach scores of 4.8, and we're helping them improve that to about 3. And then when it comes to environment, those scores are around 1.5 when they before they work with us, and after they work with us, they improve to on average 1.3. So again, we have found that our biggest improvement is with PIs who had previously submitted an R01 and who are coming to us to take what they've learned from the critiques and resubmit. And what we have been able to do with those PIs is really remarkable. Our success rate for resubmissions is 80%. So we have an 80% funding success rate when it comes to resubmissions. And because of that, we have shifted who we actually work with inside our strategic grant review service, our one-on-one review service, to focus on those PIs who have previously submitted an R01 and who are looking to resubmit. And with that success rate, we are able to effectively promise them that working with us will get them a fundable score. And that is something that I am tremendously proud of, that we have been able to do that as a team, that the editorial team has such a strong skill set to be able to really make that happen for the PIs that we work with. One of the other really important reasons that we made that shift to working with PIs who've previously submitted R01s is that we noticed when we were working with first timers, whether it was, the first time they'd ever written an R01 or it was just an A0 application, we noticed that a lot of the PIs that we worked with underestimated the amount of time it took to really develop that idea. And because working with us involves, pretty strict deadlines, which of course can help with accountability, but we did notice that a lot of those PIs actually struggled to get their work to us on time so that we could spend the time that we needed to do the proper thorough review that we need to do. And so there was a lot of back and forth on our side with our team trying to, reorganize and reschedule, which got really tricky because for the clients who were able to meet their deadlines, we didn't want to take away from them either. And so we made a decision based on our capacity as a team and the results that we saw we were getting for a particular subset of clients, that we were going to focus on the ones that we knew we could help be successful. And so that's why we are now focusing exclusively on PIs who have previously submitted an R01 that was scored, but not in the fundable range. And those are the PIs that we know, based on our success rate, we can really help them get across the pay line. And so that's the approach to the strategic review service that we rolled out towards the end of 2022 and now moving into 2023 and beyond. And we're really excited to see what we can do with that success rate going forward. But we have been really, really pleased with the results that our clients are getting, and and this is just really exciting for us to take into 2023. Some of the other ways that you can work with us in 2023, aside from the strategic reviews, are through our K to R program for women faculty. So this is a group coaching program that supports women faculty who are trying to level up from their career development award to R01 level funding. And the group program helps ensure that your house is in order before you actually write your grant, so that you have a clear vision for your career, a clear plan for how you are going to successfully convert your K award into an R01, and then actually help you build the skills around grantsmanship to be able to do that successfully, consistently, repeatedly. So that is another way to work with us in 2023. And then we also have our grant funding formula self-paced online course, which teaches you step-by-step how to write an R01 grant. And this is really everything you need to know, laid out as clearly and simply as possible, to help you take all the guesswork out of writing the grant, because developing the idea and communicating it clearly enough are really tricky. And so if we can take the guesswork out of what goes where and how to approach a particular section of the application, like what you're trying to accomplish in a particular section of the application, that really helps you focus on what you do best and makes it as simple as possible to wrap your head around what it actually takes to write a clear and persuasive and high impact R01. So that is the third way to sort of get access to our expertise in 2023. The other ways that you can, come into our community are, of course, through this channel, through these live streams, either on LinkedIn or YouTube. We also offer 3 times a year a 12-week grant writing fundamentals workshop sponsored by Edge for Scholars. And that is a really, really good introduction to the core skills that you need to write a really strong health research grant application. It really doesn't matter where you're applying. These skills that we're teaching in this fundamentals workshop are useful no matter whether you're applying to a federal funding agency, a foundation, or another source of funding. These are really the foundational core skills that you need to be successful no matter where you're applying. That pretty much covers it in terms of how you can work with us in 2023. And I hope that giving you this behind the scenes of what we do, particularly in our strategic grant review service, will give you an idea of how we can support you to get funded at NIH in 2023. All right.